teachings. Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Mang Liao Ming, homage to Master Sakya Tsungkong, homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and homage to Master Dubden Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deities of Homa today, the 5 color Akalanatas. Sumo, Tanzen Katsu, Tuten Siddhi, Tuten Kama. All Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma instructors, Dharma tutors, temple and center directors, all disciples present here and over the internet. Good afternoon. How do you do?
I stay. Hola amigo. Te quiero mucho. Skoin. Ichiba. Kimoji. Chumi. Yapi. Prin. Konnichiwa. 现在呢，通知大家，下个礼拜天11月5号
I would like to announce for next Sunday, November 5th at 3 p.m. There would be Dorje Pakmu Homa fire offering ceremony. Dorje Pakmu Vajravarahi Homa fire offering ceremony. This deity, as we know, there is a Dharma practice called Vajravarahis in a fire meditation or Tumo meditation. So Vajravarahi is the yidam for practicing inner fire or for the inner fire practices. Those who would like to ignite the inner fire should be the primary supplicant. If you don't become primary supplicant for this deity, then what kind of inner fire would you practice? So this is the yidam for inner fire. That's her mantra. Om Dorje Pakmu Hom Pe Soha. And the mudra, the same, is like this. The mudra for taras. The sit syllable is red, bang. Sit syllable bang. So, frequently from bang you can transform many things. The 5 colors are colors. Last time I've talked about the Japanese monk in order to protect the Edo prefecture, which is where Tokyo is. Place the 5 colors Akalanatas to protect Edo. Generally speaking, in Japan, Akalanata or Buddha Myo is enshrined in many temples there, because Japanese 5 Vidyarajas are different from the Tibetan 5 Vidyarajas, like Hevajra, Chakrasamvara, Yamantaka, Kalachakra, Mahotara. They are rather different from the Japanese 5 Vidyarajas, Herukas. The names are rather different. Like at the center, the emanation of Vairocana in Japanese Santayana is Akalanata. The 5 Dhyani Buddhas transform into the 5 Herukas, and Vairocana Buddha emanated or transformed into Akalanata. And the deity that's included in both is Yamantaka in Japanese Santayana as well as in Tibetan Tadayana. We can say that Tibetan Tantayana, Japanese Santayana, primarily is Akalanata. If you go to Tantric Buddhist temples in Japan, or even just regular temples, they generally enshrine Akalanata or Buddha-myo. And someone asked me, Akalanata, there's only one. Why now become 5? So the origin was started in Japan because of the Japanese monk protecting Edo prefecture. He used 5 colors Akalanatas as the boundary protection. And someone asked me, so which one is the key of these 5 colors Akalanatas? So this is talking about split bodies or emanated bodies. Like Grandmaster Lu also has many emanated or split bodies, divided bodies. So what are the differences between Grandmaster Lu and his emanated bodies? It's very difficult to talk about, but it can be discussed. Grandmaster Lu himself is in a physical body, and his body is an impermanent body. An impermanent body can experience birth, aging, old age, sickness, and death. But emanated bodies do not experience those. So that's the difference between the true deity and the emanated bodies. My answer is, it is both the same and different. So it's not the same because there are differences. Like Grandmaster Lu has a physical body, but the emanated bodies do not have physical bodies. And Grandmaster Lu is restricted. Say if I want to go back to Taiwan, I need to get on an airplane. If I want to go to Southeast Asia, any countries, Europe, England, France, or anywhere, I have to get on the plane because I carry this physical body. So physical body is very restrictive. It's very yucky, dirty, and they experience both aging, sickness, and death. But the emanated bodies or the split bodies are not restricted, and they can go anywhere they want. And they have no forms. But they can appear to look like Grandmaster Lu. Why does such phenomena appear? Why akalas appear in 5 colors? Very simple. As long as I enter empty nature in my meditation, as long as I merge with the empty sky, then you can generate the split or emanated bodies. So when Akalanata merges with the fire, then he becomes red Akala. When he enters water, he becomes black Akala. When he goes to the east and enters wood, he'll become blue-green Akala. And when he goes to the west and enter into metal, then he would become white Akala. So that's how the 5 colors Akalanatas become. At the center, there will be the yellow Akalanata. So this is the so-called emanated bodies. So emanated bodies can enter into the earth, into fire, into water, into wind, and most importantly, into void or space. And they can transform into many things. So as long as you practice meditation and can enter into the empty nature, then you would have emanated bodies. Then you would produce emanated or split bodies. And the 5 colors Akalanatas too is the same. Therefore they have 5 colors. But what is the real Grandmaster Lu is in a physical body, and he is unable to pass through the walls. He needs to eat, to excrete, and urinate, and he needs to eat. So Grandmaster Lu is in an impermanent and ordinary body, but the emanated bodies are different. And they appear or transform from the empty space or the sky, and they can pass through walls, they can go anywhere without passports. They are formless, but they can appear to look like Grandmaster Lu's appearance. Not the same. Not the same. Grandmaster Lu and his emanated bodies are different. They're not the same. And the so-called emanated bodies, what are the emanated bodies? And yet, they are not the same, but they are also the same. So what is the same about them? Yesterday we talked about it. The bodies are the same, because it's transformed by Grandmaster Lu by entering into the empty nature. So they manifest the same appearance as Grandmaster Lu, so you can recognize that they are Grandmaster Lu. That's why they have the same bodies. And they have the same speeches too, but also different. The mouth is to speak Dharma to deliver sentient beings. That's what's the same about it. And the mind is the same. And the benefits are the same. And the views and understandings are the same. And the precepts are the same. These are what we talked about last night. The benefits are the same. The mind's the same. The minds are the same. They followed Grandmaster's mind and to go all over the world to deliver sentient beings. This body will deteriorate. The skin also breaks down. Recently, the skin has problem too. And the digestive system also no good. And the swollen legs also not so good. And protein, urine in urine was over the range. The normal range is under 30 and mine is 3,000. My protein test is 3,000 and other normal people 30. So it's over the range. And American doctors cannot do anything about it. All he said is like, okay, like take another test, another test, another test. Test once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. And they want to test more. They don't want to just give medicines. My body was really good before. Before 79, my physical body was always good. And 79 had been really bad luck. Golden Mother said, you have to come back at 79, and she told me several times. And I told everybody. But this time it's not coming back to Taiwan. So 79 has been a really bad year. All these things happen when I'm 79. In the past, it was really excellent. When I was in Taiwan and we came back in February, and then I started to encounter many problems, all kinds of problems with my physical body, one after another. Now it's the end of October, almost November, and still cannot be fixed. I really want to go back to Taiwan to cure it, and I have more doctor disciples in Taiwan, and they dare to give me medicine. But American doctors have to confirm what's the real problem before they give me medicines. So that's different. American and Canadian doctors are very careful. And they have to follow up, to observe, and more, and all kinds of things. So this is the impermanent body. But the emanated bodies have no sickness whatsoever. They have no physical bodies. They can just manifest the appearance of my body, speech, and mind. Just to manifest my views, understandings, benefit, and to manifest my precepts. So emanated bodies are different. They can go anywhere, and they don't need any passport. But now wherever I go, I would need passport. And I have to get on a plane. But the emanated bodies do not need to. Just with the blink of an eye, with a thought, it would be there. They're the same as the space. So the 3,000 great thousand worlds have emanated bodies. All the 10 Dharma realms, the 4 Sichli realms, the 6 rebirth realms, they have all emanated bodies. Please don't raise your hand yet. I haven't finished. So this person, even if he's dead, cremated, the physical body is gone, but the emanated bodies will still be there. Therefore, Guru Padmasambhava has said, as long as you chant his mantra, as long as you chant Guru Padmasambhava's mantra, a number of times, 700,000 times, by chanting his mantra 700,000 times, Guru Padmasambhava will appear right in front of you. When I read that, in the past there was a Tibetan living Buddha called Taishitu. I once said that I had coffee with Sakyamuni Buddha. Do you remember? I soul travel out of body, and then Sakyamuni Buddha and I had coffee in a coffee shop in Taipei. And Taishitu Rinpoche, which was one of the 4 Dharma kings in Kagyupa, he said, but Sakyamuni Buddha had passed away long ago. So it's impossible that Grandmaster Lu met Sakyamuni Buddha, because Sakyamuni Buddha had passed away long ago. But no, that's wrong. Guru Padmasambhava said, by chanting 700,000 times of his mantra, Guru Padmasambhava will appear right in front of you. And if you honor the Guru, treasure the Dharma, and practice diligently and chanting his mantra, Guru Padmasambhava will appear right in front of you. So Ananda bestowed the precepts upon Guru Padmasambhava. So they are people from Sakyamuni Buddha's era, and they can appear. So why couldn't Sakyamuni Buddha appear? Like Grandmaster Lu's Dharma bodies now can be seen by many people while I'm still alive. I'm still alive, and they can see my emanated bodies already. Therefore, my physical body, even if it disintegrated, deteriorated, and done for cremated, game over, like in Mahjong, you would say, what's that? Like jackpot. But the Chinese pun means like game over, cremated, and this lifetime is gone. So either you're placed at the Twin Lotus Columbarium or the Western Realm Columbarium in Taiwan, burned into ash. This physical body is broken down. However, the emanated bodies are indestructible, cannot break down forever. So that's what's different between them, the physical body and the emanated bodies. But they can appear just like Sakyamuni Buddha or Guru Padmasambhava. If you honor the Guru, treasure the Dharma, and practice diligently and chant his mantra, Guru Padmasambhava will appear right in front of you. If you chant Guru Padmasambhava's mantra for 7 million times, you will be together with Amitabha Buddha. So that's why it's not the same, and yet it's the same. The emanated bodies represent Grandmaster Lu. Grandmaster Lu's body, speech, mind, precepts, views, and benefits. All of these are the same. Many people have seen my emanated bodies. All of you present here have seen my emanated bodies. The lion head lady, have you seen? Please be seated. Every time you go back to England, I would say there is one emanated body that will go with you. And my, have you seen? No words? You don't say anything? Then please be seated. Anybody else? Dharma Sister Ying, have you seen? Yes. Okay, now it's your turn. I need a microphone because you're higher.
请问这个现在我讲这个会不会打扰大家？
Will I interrupt and disturb people if I speak? Yes. I have asked you, so you're still asking. Is it okay if I speak? Today, Grandmaster's health is not so good. And Grandmaster's talking about emanated bodies, so I want to provide my witness. In the past, I've seen Grandmaster's emanated bodies, and Grandmaster has many appearances. Sometimes he's very formal with the dragon robe, as if he's real. And then delivering sentient beings or giving Dharma teachings appearing like that. And then sometimes half transparent, sometimes huge, sometimes small. So it's free, and depending on the affinities with sentient beings, then they would change. And sometimes it's addressed casually so that it becomes approachable, and he would look very amiable and approachable. So his appearance depends on what he's trying to teach sentient beings. And so this is what I like to explain about. It's the same and yet it's not the same. So they appear like Grandmaster, so we recognize. And I want to continue that last time. In the Amoghapasa Avalokitesvara, Grandmaster's emanated bodies is in the Dharma realms in heavens. And then many people wear white garments. And they are in the sky, and here we are attending Grandmaster ceremonies down here, and they are joining up there. And Akalanata, Grandmasters appearing in this color, but would emanate many different colors. So he emanated many Akalanatas with different colors. And then there are many troops that would get into war with them, and then were defeated. So the Akalas manifest Grandmaster's power to help us protect from calamities and such. Lian, there's something to say. Have you seen Grandmaster's emanated bodies? Yes. And Lian Xi, have you seen? Grandmaster's emanated body is always on my body, never separate. And Medya. Okay, give her a microphone. I see Grandmaster dressed like this to come to our temple. Okay, please return. But mostly are women who see the emanated bodies. How come there are no men? Actually, there are also men who have seen the emanated bodies. But I always say to men that I'm not homosexual. Many people have seen them, and they live in many different places all over the world. All over the world. Actually, what I wrote about Dakini, or the sky travelers, I've gone to the organ heavens, and all 100,000 Dakinis recognized me. And then when I go to Golden Mother's primordial fairyland, Golden Mother's daughters and attendants and 3,000 maids in waitings all recognize me. This is talking about the cosmos, the heavenly realms. I remember the first time when my third eye was opened by Golden Mother. I went to the heavens, and all the heavenly beings, upon seeing me, would join their palms and ask, "Oh, you're back." They said that I'm back, and I don't recognize any of them, but they told me that I'm back. I was back. Don't you think that? Don't you find that strange? I don't recognize you, but why did you say that you are back? And they smiled. You came from here. We were together. All the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas joined their palms toward me. That's quite strange, don't you think? Isn't it? And that was my first time. I visited the heavenly realms, and they all said, "Oh, you're back." But I didn't know any of them. And yet they said that I was back. And Elizabeth from Indonesia, is she here? Elizabeth, have you seen Grandmaster? In the dreams. In the dreams. Give her that. Hey, 帮我看一下。Was Grandmaster in Japan? Was Grandmaster in Tibet? Grandmaster is Atisha, Guru Atisha. Atisha. Grandmaster was in Tibet, was in Japan. You know all that. She knew. Okay, please be seated. These are all real. You know, I can heal or cure people, but I cannot cure myself. And that's the fact too. So is Lily here? Chen Li. Your tumor. So after Grandmaster gave you a blessing, the tumor disappeared? Yes. See? She had the tumor, but with the blessing on the head, it disappeared, and this was also a fact. But I could not go to hospitals and then touch the heads of everyone with tumors. And this is called affinities. Those with affinities can be cured. But why can't I cure myself? I don't know. So I have to bear my own karma. This is a very interesting and strange thing. Chen Li or Lily is here. I give her blessing on the head at the Rainbow Temple. And she rushed in as everybody was getting the blessing. And just with a few seconds, I give her blessing and the tumor disappeared. That must be causes and conditions. So it's causes and conditions that you are able to see. Elizabeth knew about my past lives. I was in Japan in the past, in Tibet. She knew. These are all causes and conditions. So there are many unimaginable, inconceivable things in human life. The same thing with the 5 Kalus Akalanatas. Not the same, yet the same. So the emanated bodies are not the same, but yet they are also the same. In the future, when my physical body disappears, the emanated bodies will stay. And that's how the 5 Kalus Akalanatas emanated. Now we'll do the Q&A. Question from Singapore, Lianhua Wei Yan. Homage to Grandmaster, Grandmaster and Sumo, how do you do? Your disciple has had several dreams of Buddhas and Bodhisattva, but has never seen their appearances. But I could hear voices, see lights, and feel a powerful energy that opens the pores of the body. In these dreams, I encountered sacred names like Avalokitesvara name or Grandmaster's name, and the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are formless and just like rays of light and omnipresent, filling the whole expanse of the universe. I have explained this. Not the same, yet the same. Not one, but it's also one. So that's the answer. It's not the same, but yet it's also the same. Not one, but also one. Master Lien Yue visited Singapore to teach end-of-life care and funeral chanting. And Master instructed us to visualize ourselves to be amidst the universe. Afterward, during one night's sleep, I felt that I was one with the void, where there was nothing, just a state of silence, yet I remained conscious. This state lasted briefly, then a thought arose in my consciousness, realizing that this is how the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are, and then I woke up. Grandmaster, I genuinely believe in the existence of the Sukhavati Pure Land, but is the Pure Land dependent on karmic retributions and the capacities of the sentient beings? If Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are originally formless, so is the Pure Land provide us with immeasurable time and space to practice and learn until realization? I understand that we are beyond birth and death and we do not die. So we just follow the consciousness like mentioned in the Vajra Sutra, so that realize that all condition, everything condition is a dream, an illusion, a bubble, a shadow, like a dew, like lightning. And you should view it this way. Since understanding that there's nothing to gain or lose, I feel that wherever mind is pure, that is the Pure Land. So am I on the right path so that I can attain enlightenment and realization? So the Vajra Sutra is considered the sutra for enlightenment, the same with the Heart Sutra. Heart Sutra, Vajra Sutra, Mahaprajna Paramita Sutra. They are all the sutras to gain enlightenment, to see the path or to see the way or Tao. What she said is not bad. So with forms, then you cannot be liberated with forms. Without forms, that's liberation. Without actions, that's liberation. That's the so-called three liberations. Liberation, emptiness, liberation of non-phenomena, liberation of non-action. You act without reasons. What is non-phenomena? Non-phenomena of self, others, sentient beings, and lifespan. Emptiness, the ultimate meaning. The profound truth of emptiness is liberation. Therefore, you're free and no concern. That's liberation. If you still have cares and concerns, then you have causes and conditions. When you have cares and concerns, then you would have causes and conditions, and it will be difficult for you to be liberated. That's all I can tell you. Question by a Singaporean disciple. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, of course, have no forms. They only manifest forms for sentient beings.
这个什么是正命？正命就是说你在这个人生当中，什么是正命
What is true life in this human life? Right actions.
在八正道里
That's the right livelihood. It's part of the Eightfold Noble Path.
是正命。
Developing virtues through right actions, that's right livelihood, which is life purification. So, if your heart and mind is pure, then you're approaching sagehood. So, the purity of the mind means you're approaching sagehood. Harboring no abhorrence toward evil people through taming the mind. When people are truly detestable and evil, you cannot reject them. You need to tame them, to transform them, because everything is equal. Although they're bad, evil people, but they also have Buddha nature. The people around you, some are good, some are bad, but you should not detest them. You should not abhor them. But primarily, you want to tame and transform them, according to Vimalakirti. Generating deep mind through the practice of ordination, because we know that straight mind is the place of practice. Deep mind is also the place of practice. Having straight mind, ultimately, you would reach deep mind. So, having straight mind, you will have deep mind. So, both straight mind and deep mind are immovable, that your mind will not move anymore. There's no doubt whatsoever. And you just go straight in your spiritual cultivation. That means you're performing right actions of goodness. Acting according to what Dharma they heard. First, we have a master. Master Chen Jianming said, when you're young, you should listen more to Buddha Dharma or learn more Buddha Dharma. And at middle age, you focus on one Dharma. At old age, then you focus on being reborn to the Sukhavati, to Buddha verses. That's the most important thing, is to be reborn in the Buddha verses and nothing else. And in middle age, you want to focus on one Dharma. But when you're young, you should learn and hear more. So, when giving Dharma teaching or behaving, is because you have heard a lot of Buddha Dharma. Being devoid of contention due to placement of time and space. If you're bored, then you start gossiping, looking for people to do senseless or wasteful things. You have no other opinion. As Buddhists, we are non-contending, and we have the same views and understanding completely. Joining the banquet with the interest toward the Buddha's wisdom. So, when you face toward the Buddha's wisdom, you need to learn meditation. that at any time and any place you're not distracted, you're focused. So meditation is not sitting there like Sariputra was reprimanded for sitting there. That's not benefiting sentient beings. So even when you give Dharma teaching, you cannot have distracted thoughts or random thoughts. Or whatever you do, you don't want to have any distracted or random thoughts. All the same. So when you strive toward the Buddha's wisdom, then you will not have any distracted thoughts. Then without distracted thoughts, of course, you're amidst meditation. As the crown of spiritual cultivation to resolve the bondage of sentient beings, all sentient beings are held in bondage. By what? By your knowledge, by your education. You have to have a PhD degree or to be an academician. Then you're bound by your education, by your degree, by your title. Those are just names. Like in Taiwan, they are running for the presidency, and they are all held in bondage by the presidency. And those officials are being bound by their officialdom. Some are bound by money, some are bound by sensual pleasures, some are bound by fame and names and titles, all in bondage. So resolve the bondage of sentient beings. One needs to cultivate spiritually, that you would know that none of those are unattainable. You cannot gain anything. There is not one thing that you can gain in the Saha world. Once you have such a view or understanding, then you will not be held in bondage. You know that looks or sensual pleasures are all emptiness, that eventually you will be cremated, and then there would be emptiness. Like us, this is physical bodies. In the future will be burned, and then that's left is emptiness. And you want children, then you're held in bondage by your children. And you think that you have grandchildren, you're held in bondage by your grandchildren. We just deal with and follow with the children and grandchildren, but we will not be held in bondage by our children and grandchildren. So that's what we should, we should do what we are supposed to do for them, but you have no expectations or requirements, then you will not be held in bondage. By cultivating spiritually, you can resolve the bondage of sentient beings. Working on generating merits and blessings to strive for the marks of perfection and pure Buddha verses. As I said, human beings should have dignified look or compassionate look, kind look. When you're young, you should be beautiful and handsome. In middle age or in old age, you should have kind and compassionate and dignified looks. So, the good looks and pure Buddha verses. That's your merits and blessings. So when you're compassionate, then you would have the kind and compassionate looks. Speaking Dharma accordingly based on the minds of sentient beings through the work of wisdom. So you discern the spiritual roots of sentient beings and give Dharma accordingly. So the fundamental wisdom and the wisdom of discernment is to discern the differing spiritual roots of sentient beings. And the fundamental wisdom talks about the wisdom of the Tathagata. So you have the wisdom of Tathagata and the wisdom of discernment, and you know what the sentient beings are thinking in their hearts and minds and what karma they have, and then you can give Dharma teaching accordingly by understanding them. And knowing that all Dharma is unattainable and unrelinquishable. It really is true. Nothing to gain and nothing to lose. We all know that nothing belongs to you. Nothing can be attained and nothing to lose. Living in the Saha world, other than giving to sentient beings, you cannot forsake sentient beings either. You cannot abandon Saha world, yet your heart and mind are not amidst the Saha world either. So you have no conditioned actions toward the Saha world, but we also do not relinquish the Saha world. We are all the same. We just follow the course, follow the affinities, follow the causes and conditions toward our children and grandchildren. We just follow the course and follow the affinities. And the same with all sentient beings. Entering a Dharma door through the work of knowledge. So this is the non-dualistic door. What is the non-dualistic door? It will be talked about later. So there's only one door. Sometimes when we go to temples, they have the writing non-dualistic door or gate. And this is the wisdom of the Buddha. Severing all afflictions, all hindrances, all negativities, to give rise to the work of goodness, to obtain all wisdom and all methods of goodness. That's how it is. You have to cut off afflictions, hindrances, negativities, and to obtain all goodness, all wisdom, and methods of goodness. Only goodness can counter non-goodness. And wisdom, only wisdom can counter lack of wisdom. To give rise to everything that aids the path of Buddhahood. Whatever you do is to help the Buddha, to help everyone to attain Tao. In this way, good man, this is called the Dharma offering. If the Bodhisattva stay, then that is the Dharma offering banquet, and that's called the great benefactor. So the ordained Sangha is called the Sangha with the field of great fortune. You are the ones to give sentient beings great fortunes and wisdom, because you gave Dharma, and that's Dharma offerings. So they're great benefactor, of course, because everything is for the field of great fortune and wisdom of all the world. I find Vimalakirti, the old man, is very wordy and lengthy, and he spoke so much, but he really tried very hard. So we should pity him. He didn't even take a sip of water after speaking so much, right? The old Vimalakirti, really, you're very glib. You speak so much. Quite tiring. So I explained it in simple terms. Do you understand?
朋友啊，介绍个这个美眉给我，交往了2个月。前天我问她，对我的印象如何？
I've been dating someone for someone introduced a nice lady to me, and we've been dating for 2 dates, and yet she said that she had no feelings for me, so I felt upset, so I took her out for a great dinner, and then after the great meal, I asked her, so do you have any feeling for me now? And she said, well, I do. You know, what do you feel? I feel full. At night, the wife got home carrying lots of bags after shopping. And I asked, how come you have so much money buying so many things? And the wife was very happy. You know, when I was tidying the cabinet, the closet, and then in the old jeans, I found $50,000. And the husband was quiet, silent, and then texted his friend, "You told me to place my personal savings in the old jeans that doesn't fit my wife anymore. That would be the safest, but hey, yeah, you should move yours right away." The boyfriend told the girlfriend, "Honey, I will work hard and so that you can live a good life as a housewife." And the girlfriend said, "Oh, don't worry, just do your best. I don't want you to be working too hard. I have hands and legs too." And the boyfriend was very touched and, "Okay, let's work together." You know, but having hands and legs, when I see something goes wrong, then I can run. I can run away.
班上来了一个转学生，听说他资优生哎。一天老师出来一个
In class, there is a student that's supposed to be an excellent, and this teacher gave a very difficult question and asked who wants to, and give the answer, and nobody raised their hand. So the teacher looked at the new student and he asked, "So do you want it in English or in Chinese?" And everybody was shocked. And then the teacher said, "Oh, how about English?" And then he said, "I don't know." This person can be ordained. Sometimes I really want to let go of everything and become a monk. But thinking it over, I didn't have anything to start with anyway. Halloween's approaching soon. When? Tuesday. this coming Tuesday.
社区举办万圣节化妆舞会。
The community has the costume party for the Halloween.
你老婆
And Xiao Juan told Xiaoming,
装鬼好
your
恐怖
wife
吓死我们。
looks like a ghost, very scary.
我老婆根本
And
没化
Xiaoming
妆
said, are you sick? My wife didn't put on anything.
说法说到这里，想一想，真的人生老真的很可怜，老很可怜。
Giving Dharma teaching up to this point.
老
As a human,
真的是很
old age and being sick are truly suffering.